Bonjour, je m'appelle Dr. Chen et bienvenue à French 1311, chapitre 4, leçon 7. Chapitre 4, leçon 7. Aujourd'hui, nous allons étudier trois choses. Les prépositions i, en, i, en, i, en, i, en, le passé récent et le futur proche. Les prépositions i, en, le passé récent et le futur proche. Hello, my name is Dr. Chen and welcome to French 1311, Chapter 4, Lesson 7. Today we are going to study three things. First of all, we are going to study the prepositions i, en, which mean in English there or on, from there. I means there and on means from there. And then we are going to study the recent past tense. How to say I just ate, I just went jogging, I just studied in French. And then thirdly, we are going to study how to do the near future in French. How to say I'm going to eat, I'm going to go to class, I'm going to go shopping. Ça va? Très bien. Page 119, page 123. Les prépositions, the prepositions i and en. Les prépositions i et en. Le passé récent et le futur proche. Les prépositions i et en, le passé récent et le futur proche. So we are going to study three things today. The prepositions i, which means there. So i means there, and then the preposition en, which means from there. Then we are going to learn how to say I just ate, the past tense, but the past tense which expresses an action which just happened, the recent past. And then we are going to study the near future with the verb aller, with the verb to go. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat. I'm going to do errands. Okay, I'm going to study. Ça va? Très bien. So let's begin with I and en. I and en. I, en. I, en. I, en. I, en. The prepositions I, en are used to replace nouns or places to avoid repetition. To avoid repetitions, the prepositions I and en are used. First of all, let's study I, and then we go on to en. Okay, for instance, okay, if you say ils vont à Londres. Londres always has an S, right? It means London. Okay, ils vont à Londres. They are going to London. You don't want to repeat London, all right? To avoid the repetition, you would use the preposition I, which is written as a Y. I, right? In the place of the preposition a and the place, right? So I will replace the preposition a and Londres. Okay, so ils vont à Londres, the a and then Londres will be replaced by I, and then you will push I in front of the verb. Okay, so a and Londres will disappear, and then I will come in front of the verb. Okay, so ils vont à Londres, they are going to London. You want to say they are going there. Okay, you will replace the preposition a with the place. Okay, you replace both the preposition a and Londres with I, right? And then you will push I in front of the verb, and à Londres will disappear, right? Good. So you would say ils y vont le 30 avril. Okay, like if you want to say when are they going to London, quand est-ce qu'ils vont à Londres? And then in your reply, you don't want to repeat à Londres. So you will say they are going there on the 30th of April, right? They are going there, or they go there on the 30th of April. So the there will be placed in French in front of the verb go. Okay? Ils y vont le 30 avril. The I replaces the preposition to London, right? And then the to London will disappear, and then there the I will come in front of the verb. In English, it will come after the verb. In French, it will come before the verb. Ça va? So that is there. There will replace the preposition a and the town, the city, right? It can be any other location. It can be Paris, it can be Houston, it can be Beaumont, right? They are going to Beaumont, they are going there, they are going to Houston, they are going there, right? But the there in French will come in front of going, right? In French. In English, there will come after the verb. In French, there will come in front of the verb. Ça va? Très bien. So, ils y vont le 30 avril. They go there. Alright? They go there. on the 30th of April. Okay, now, when do we use on? On is used to replace a place with the preposition de in front of it. Okay, e replaces a place with a in front of it. Alright, on will replace, to avoid repetition, on replaces a place with de in front of it, which means on replacing a place with de will mean from there, okay, just like e, on will be placed in front of the verb. So here, il revient de Londres. They are returning from London, right? They are returning from London. They return from London, or they are returning from London. Okay, if you don't want to repeat from London, right? From London, you will replace from London with en. Okay, il revient de Londres. De and Londres will be replaced by the preposition en. Okay, il revient de Londres le 5 mai. Okay, they are coming back from London on the 5th of May. Okay, now you want to say they are coming back from there on the 5th of May. Okay, the en will replace de Londres, and then en will be pushed in front of the verb, the same way we did with e. E will be in front of the verb. Here, en will be in front of the verb. Right? In English, it's the other way around. It will come after the verb from there. They are returning from there, right? See, from there is in front of the verb, returning. In French, the en from there is placed in front of the verb. Okay, so, ils en reviennent le 5 mai. Ils en reviennent. Ok? Ils en reviennent le 5 mai. Okay? The prepositions en and e, unlike in English, are placed in front of the verbs. Ça va? Très bien. E means there and en means from there. They are used to avoid repetitions. Okay, très bien. They are used to avoid repetitions. Ça va? Très bien. Okay, secondly, we are going to learn how to say I just ate, I just studied, I just went shopping, right? What is in French called le passé récent. Le passé récent, the recent past tense. Alright, you know, in English you will just use the expression just, right? I just came home. I just read the book. I just finished eating, right? To do that, you use the verb venir, right? And then the preposition de. And then you use another verb in its infinitive form, which means that that other verb will not be conjugated. If it's an ER verb, it will stay like that. If it's the verb aller, it will stay like that. If it's the verb être, it will stay like that. After venir de, you will conjugate the venir part, right? And then de will remain like that, and then you will follow de with a verb in its infinitive form. Okay, so if you want to say I just ate, you will say je, and then the venir part will become viens, followed by the preposition de, and the verb to eat in its infinitive form, manger. So je viens de, okay, je viens de manger, je viens de manger, je viens de manger, je viens de manger. So je viens de manger. Okay, manger is in its infinitive form. Okay, here ils viennent d'acheter une nouvelle maison. Acheter, 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 to buy. Okay, you know why this is the apostrophe? Is because this D, E, the E has come into contact with the A, which begins acheter. So you will drop the E that goes with de, and you put your apostrophe there. Ils viennent d'acheter une nouvelle maison. Okay, they just bought a new house. Okay, elle vient de faire le jogging. He just went jogging. Il vient de faire le jogging. She just went jogging. You know, faire le jogging, to go jogging. Très bien. So, vient de will mean just doing that activity, jogging. So, elle vient de faire le jogging means she just went, right, jogging. All right, to express the future, right, you can use the present tense of the verb plus a time expression, like this evening, tomorrow, right, or on Tuesday, on Monday, right? So the future is expressed using the verb in its present form with a time expression. Like you can say, to say, we are arriving, we will arrive this evening or tomorrow. You can use the verb arriver, right, in its present form, present tense form, plus a time expression. Ce soir, this evening, or demain, tomorrow. So, nous arrivons ce soir means we are arriving this evening, which is the future tense, right? Or nous arrivons demain. We are arriving tomorrow. Okay, another way of expressing the near future, right? The future tense is to use the verb aller plus another verb in its infinitive form. You will conjugate the aller part. The other verb will not be conjugated. It will stay in its infinitive form, which means that if it's an ER verb, it will stay in its ER verb form. If it's the verb faire, you don't change it. If it's the verb aller, you don't change it. The verb avoir, you don't change it. The verb être, you don't change it. You will change the aller part, right? The other verb is not changed. So that will do the near future tense. Le futur proche. Le futur proche. You do the aller part plus another verb in its infinitive form. So to say, I'm going to eat, right? I'm going to eat. You will say, je vais, and then the verb to eat. Je vais manger. Je vais manger. See, the verb manger is not conjugated. It is in its infinitive form. To say, we are going to do errands, right? Faire les courses. To do errands, right? You do the aller pas. Nous allons faire, right? Faire, the verb is not changed. Nous allons faire les courses. We are going to do errands. To do errands, faire les courses. Okay, to say you are going to study, you will say vous allez. You are, right? Vous allez étudier. Vous allez étudier, right? You are going to study. Étudier is not conjugated, right? Now, the same thing with I am going to class, right? I am going, and then to go again, and then to class. So, je vais aller en cours. Je vais, I'm going, and then to go. I'm going to go to class. Je vais aller en cours. Je vais, I'm going to go to class. Right? Je vais aller en cours. To do the negation, you will surround ne pas. You will surround the verb, the conjugated part, right? The conjugated part of the verb aller with ne pas. The other ones, the other verb will stay like that, followed by whatever words you have used in your near future tense. So, je vais aller en cours. I'm going to go to class. You want to say, I'm not going to go to class. You will put your ne in front of ver and then pas after ver, right? To do the negation. Je ne vais pas aller en cours. I'm not going to go to class. Alright, the same thing with vous allez étudier. Yeah, vous allez étudier. You put ne pas in front, you put ne in front of aller and then pas after aller. And you have your negation. So, you see that in ne, right, in front of aller will meet the vowel aller. So, the E, alright, in front of A will disappear, and then you put your apostrophe here. So that's why it's like vous n'allez pas étudier. You are not going to study. The ne, right, comes into contact with the A that begins the aller, right? So, voyelle, voyelle. Vous laissez tomber la première voyelle et vous mettez l'apostrophe. And you put your apostrophe. So that's why you don't see the ne here. Because the E has disappeared. Ça va? So, vous n'allez pas étudier is an apostrophe because we have dropped the E. Ça va? Très bien. Question? Non? Au revoir et à bientôt.